we're going to start learning about more words and how to apply them for graphing linear equations. Today you're going to learn about domain and range. Now, the domain is the set of all x-coordinates of the ordered pair, x. Now remember, I told you we're going to call it coordinate pair. It's also coordinate point. It's also ordered pair. All of those things are x comma y. So let's look. The set of all x-coordinates, that's the 3, the 0, the 3 again, and the 5. Those are all your x-coordinates. That is the domain of that function. Range is all the y-coordinates of the ordered pairs, okay? The y values that go up and down. And if you look at this little list right here, you've got 4, 5, 6, and 7. Those are all the y values. I'm going to put that up here, x comma y. Now, how do you remember which coordinate goes with domain and which goes with range? Well, I'm going to teach you a little memory device. Let's think about the alphabet. Which comes first, x or y? T, W, X, Y. X comes first. All right, see, we've got x as the first letter, the first part of our coordinate pair. Well, word-wise, which comes first, domain or range? Well, D comes before R, so domain. What that means is the domain comes before the range. So alphabetical is a way you can remember what domain means. Domain is the left and right of your values, the x values, while range is the up and down of your values. All right, let's go to the last part. You will see something like this on your test and in Alex. Now to write this properly, when you are looking at these pairs, we're going to write the domain. You use the brackets and you write the domain, which is all the x-coordinates, -4, -2, 0, and 3. And that's it. Now these happen to be in numerical order, and that's nice. I prefer them in numerical order. I call it proper math grammar when you put things in numerical order, but it will not be wrong if you don't. It just looks better. All right, let's do the range, which is the y-coordinates. So the range, brackets again, I'm just moving left to right. 5, 4, -2. Now I've got another 5, but I already have 5 in my range. I don't need to write it again, so I'm not going to. And that's it. That covers the first half of day 2. The next half is going to be on functions. We're going to do the second half of the day 2 material today. We're going to talk about functions and what makes a function. So let's fill in a few things we've known. The input is the domain. We just learned that. That is an N. And the output is the range. Now this is a key phrase you need to know. Each input has exactly one output. Another way of putting it is each x has only one y. Every x value has only one y if it is a function. Repeat after me. Every x value has only one y if it is a function. So we are going to look at ordered pairs, a table, graph, mapping, and a couple of other things to determine if they are a function and if they are not a function. All right, so let's look at what we've got. Here is ordered pairs. These are functions. Why? Because every x has only one y value. We don't repeat any x's here. Every x has only one y. But look at this one. -9, -1. We have -1 again. So this -1x has a y value of 5, and this -1x has a y value of 2. It cannot be a function with that, all right? It is not a function. So when you're looking at a set of ordered pairs, if you see any repeated x values, it is not going to be a function. Now let's look at a table. It's a little bit easier to see on a table. You've got a 1, 2, 3, and 8. All different x's, and it doesn't matter if they're different y's. You have all different x's, and every x value has one y. Listen to the words. Every x has one y. Let's look at this one over here. You've got 3 and 3. You have the same x value with two y values. It is not a function. Every x has only one y. Okay, now we're going to look at the graph. Now with the graph, we do something called the vertical line test. It's super easy. You look at the line that is graphed. Is there anywhere on this graph where you can draw a line and you hit this one, line F, more than once? The answer is no. So it is a function. Now let's look at this one. Is there anywhere on this one where you can hit a line more than once? Oh, definitely. See, we go through it twice. This is not a function. If you can draw a vertical line through the graphed line and you can hit it more than once, it is not a function. I know I'm speaking slowly, but it's important that you grasp what is and what is not a function. Now we're going to look at mapping. Look at all these x's, 7, 10, and 13. Each one, see, every one has an arrow going to a y. Now, notice how 7 and 10 have the same y? That's okay. Because, repeat what we have in the yellow, every x has only one y. That's what we focus on. You look at the x coordinates. Do you see any arrows from any x's going to more than one y? You do not. Over here, where this is not a function, see how we've got 1, 3, and 5, but 5 has this arrow, one going to 4 and one going to 5. This x, 5, has more than one y. You're going to have to really watch this one again. All right, now this is what it's going to look like. One of the ways it's going to look like in Alex. You're going to do the vertical line test in some, and then you're going to have these. You're going to determine whether each relation is a function. And what did I say? Every x has only one y. Focus on your x coordinates. Now when it comes to the ordered pairs written horizontally, I like to underline. It helps me keep them straight. So I underline my x's. All right, I have 5, 2, 5, -9, -7, -9, and -7, 5. Look at my x's. I have one x with two different y's. Cannot be a function because every x has only one y. I'm going to put function. There we go. So relation 1 is not a function. It cannot be a function because I have x's with two y's. Let's look at relation 2. I'm focusing on the x's. I don't have any repeat x's, do I? I have -3, 6, -4, and 1. So every x has only one y. This is a function. All right, now relation 3. We've got words in the domain. It doesn't matter. Remember, domain is x. I'm going to write that down too. Domain, x coordinates, range, equal y coordinates. So let's look at the domain. Are there any repeated words in our domain? Are there any arrows going to more than one range from a domain? No. Desk, cloud, leaf, and rock have one arrow. They all go to one member of the range. So it is a function. Now, let's look at relation 4. We're dealing with words again. We have rock, pencil, pen, and star. Is there more than one arrow going from rock, pencil, pen, or star? No. Even though rock, pencil, and pen go to the same range, it doesn't matter. There is one arrow, so it is a function. Each member of the domain has only one y, so it is a function. Students trip up on this a lot because they get confused between your x and y's. Focus on the x coordinates, and remember, every x has only one y.